But in the end, it was via pinfall, the Atomic Dog victorious using the Dog Pound, his version of the RKO, to gain victory over Steve Off. And match number 2, it was the Battle Royal, which at the end, the man called the Trash Man.
The Trash Man.
He cleaned up the garbage and won the Battle Royal. And I'll be totally honest with you, this match itself was garbage. It was terrible. It was a 6-man, I think 6 or 8-man Battle Royal. It was over in 3 minutes.
That's all?
Yeah, it was just within the first 45 seconds, 4 guys were thrown out. A couple of guys kind of missed their spot when they were supposed to get thrown out, and they were kind of dangling on the rope, and eventually fell out. And the Trash Man, not taking anything away from him or anybody else in that ring. It was really bad. It was a really botched spot. Some people will say it was just there to kill time, but I really think that you could have used something a little bit more creative in a 6-minute spot, because it took 3 minutes to get them all to the ring, another 3 minutes for the match to end. So it was just it was bad. But to their credit, from what I learned later on, they're all students.
Oh, so.
Okay, they're learning. This is the way you're going to learn. You're going to go out in front of a crowd, good or bad. That's the way it is. So, we definitely wish these guys luck in the future, and hope it gets better from this point. Match number 3 saw Tim Plasma, a character where he comes out kind of like a Dracula type. He's got a black and red robe. He's paler than pale. His name's Plasma, and gets in the ring and immediately hangs upside down on the turnbuckle, kind of like a bat. But he took on Tim Rich, which I think was weird because Tim Rich competed in the Battle Royal right before that. So,
it is weird.
Double duty. But it was Tim Plasma, victorious via pinfall. Nothing special in this match.
Does he have a finisher?
It was, I don't know. It was some sort of a neck breaker. I really don't know. The character was not really that good. The whole Dracula kind of thing. And but again, young guys coming out trying to catch on with a gimmick, and somewhere down the road maybe it'll stick somewhere, or they'll just have to they'll have to evolve and change. But Tim Plasma victorious over Tim Rich in match number 3. Match number 4 saw a fatal 5-way match. Maxwell Weinstein, Vinny Spano, Joe Swanson, TJ Warren, and Jarrett Evans just battled it out in a back and forth match. Saw a lot of guys outside the ring, while 2 guys were inside the ring. When it comes to fatal 5-way, any kind of fatal 5-way or fatal 4-way, you don't really want to see wrestlers on the outside of the ring, because it kind of takes away from what you're trying to watch. It's not WWE or TNA where they got 17 camera angles, where you can say, oh wait, this is what's going on outside, but boom, here's what's going on. It takes away from the crowd, and the crowd's trying to focus on what's going on in the ring. There's 3 guys on the outside of the ring. It was a little bit too much of that. But in the end, it was Jarrett Evans victorious using a curb stomp to pin his foe. I don't know if he has a name for it, but it was a curb stomp. GM, General Manager of Superstars of Wrestling, Frankie Love, came out to cut a promo to thank the fans for coming out and making Mega Slam possible, and hoping kind of preaching to the fans, hoping that they'll allow them to come back next year for Mega Slam 2. And he was interrupted by the tag team known as Kentucky Bread, led to the ring by manager Savannah. And they had a match, so they basically told Frankie, get the hell out of the ring and go back. And a little disrespectful for the general manager, I'll say that.
I would say so too.
But they took on Ryan Rumble, the always fun Ryan Rumble, and the unbreakable Rob Fury in a tag team match. Rob Fury, as everybody knows, is the CEO and president of Superstars of Wrestling. He's also a wrestler himself. And it was Rumble and Fury victorious via pinfall. And the pinfall happened when Ryan Rumble did a middle-of-the-rope faceplant slam to his opponent, and Kentucky Bred was down and out. Rumble and Fury victorious. And then Kentucky Bred kind of got into an argument back and forth with Savannah that eventually saw Savannah kicking both of them in the nuts. And Rumble and Fury came back in to help. And Rumble, Fury, and Savannah left the ring with their hands up. So who knows where this will go.
It will be interesting.
Yep. We went into intermission. Probably the longest intermission I ever had in a Indy event. It was about 20 minutes, and it was well deserved. It was a very quick 5 matches there, and you want to give the guys that you brought in, that you're paying the big money, to make a little money. Make their worth.
Of course.
We came back with match number 6. Again, manager Johnny Cool comes out with his tag team, the Muscle Sharks, and they took on the Fat Boys, Biggie Biggs and Magic.
Great name.
Biggie Biggs is a monster. Magic's awesome. I love Magic. Magic is probably one of the most underrated big men in indie wrestling. He's a veteran. He's been around a long time, man. He's a very entertaining gentleman. In and outside the ring. Really nice guy. But it came down to the Fat Boys getting the victory via disqualification when the Muscle Sharks decided to kick them both in the nuts. So,
ouch.
The double nut shot. So they got disqualified. So Biggie Biggs and Magic, well known as the Fat Boys, victorious. We go to match number 7 that saw Josh Adams take on Slayer. Slayer is awesome. Comes in the ring in a straitjacket, flies around the ring.
Cool.
He's crazy. Got to talk to him after the event, but he's a cool guy to talk to. But it was Slayer victorious with a flying cross body block off the top rope, gaining the pin over Josh Adams. So Slayer victorious in match number 7. We move on to match number 8, the match of the night by far. My apologies to Pacifica and Dirtbag Dan and the main event, but this by far made a very, very proud moment for UWA Elite. So kudos to Mr. Swan, the president and CEO of UWA Elite, because these are his guys. King Tech took on Brandon the Bull and Eric Corvus in a 3-way match. Went back and forth. Brandon Bull. Everybody knows Brandon Bull. He's a 19-year-old kid, 6'4", over 300 pounds.
Wow, 19.
19, monster, absolute monster. Young, little green, strong as a bull. Hate to use that cliche, but I have to. Strong young man. King Tech, more of the 160, 170 pound guy, but quick. Wrestler. Great technical guy. And then you got Eric Corvus. Everybody's seen Eric Corvus. Eric Corvus is that in-between guy. He's not the lightweight, but he's not the heavyweight. He's kind of he's not a middleweight, because he's up there. So but he moves around. I don't know how much weight. I would probably say he weighs about, he's going to kill me. I'm going to say about 230. 230. Okay? But he moves around like a lightweight. But he's got the strength of a heavyweight. And he's got such an array of moves. He always, you can watch 5 of his matches and he just puts on a different show all 5 times. It's just, he just got such a repertoire of moves. And it went back and forth, but at the end it was Eric Corvus victorious, using the Jester Drop. I heard there was a new name to it, but that I went with the name that he used to use. I wasn't able to get to, as you can see, my parentheses that are blank. The Jester Drop. But Eric Corvus victorious over King Tech and Brandon the Bull. So kudos to UWA Elite. They 3 guys put on the match of the night. We go to match number 9. It saw Mikey Pacifica take on Dirtbag Dan, who is the champion for the Tri-State Championship. This was a hardcore match, no disqualifications for the title. This also went back and forth, and as you can imagine, they were hitting each other with everything from cookie sheets to garbage pails, or garbage pail lids, to chairs, and whatever they were able to grab.
Tables?
From, no tables. Whatever they were able to grab around the ring. And but in the end, it was Dirtbag Dan victorious via pinfall, retaining his Superstars of Wrestling Tri-State Championship. So he moves on to defend that title for another day. Match number 10 was the main event. Again, a Johnny Cool sighting. Johnny Cool came down with Montgomery Preston. Or is it Preston Montgomery? I think it's Preston Montgomery.
That sounds
right.
right. Yeah.
Yes, Preston Montgomery. But they represented the Rude Dude, Corey Havoc, and the tag team of Vinny Cenzo, and Big Vinny DeMarco. Big Vinny DeMarco earns his name because he's a big Vinny. And they took on the WWE superstars, Tito Santana, The Patriot, and Tony Atlas. Those who haven't seen Tito Santana, the guy can still perform, still can wrestle at his age, still performs, still gets around the ring real well. Anybody who hasn't seen The Patriot, the guy's just look at the picture of him. He's phenomenal shape. I mean, the guy's ridiculous. And, Tony Atlas still has some of the largest arms you'll see in a human being. Still. Not that mobile anymore, but he really never was, even when he was wrestling in his days with Rocky Johnson. But, he's a powerhouse. But in the end, using the Tito Santana forearm smash, knocking Havoc down, Santana gains the victory via pinfall over Havoc, Cenzo, and DeMarco. So Santana, The Patriot, and Tony Atlas victorious as that closed out the main event, and that closed out Mega Slam. Just a couple of notes at points of this card. Not a great response from the crowd. There wasn't a lot of great crowd responses, and that goes both ways. That goes to the wrestlers needing to learn how to play the crowd,
right,
and get that, whether it's good or bad. If you get booed or cheered, you're still getting something. So you're still playing to the fans.
Were there a lot of people there?
There was a lot of people there. A couple hundred people. Okay? The veteran wrestlers were trying to get that response. Corvus came out, did his thing, didn't get a big crowd reaction. He actually went back inside. Came back out and screamed again, did it all over again. Got a lot of response because, the fans got a kick out of it. The younger wrestlers just, this is something that they need to learn as they go along. They need to learn how to play to the crowd. Because that's who you're performing in front of. You're not performing in front of a camera. You're performing in front of a crowd. So, as far as the intro, that's our guest. As far as the intro to that match, Eric Sims called it a drizzling shit. They played the Benny Hill theme song for Tony Atlas. So that was pretty bad. But we'll close that out, and we'd like to welcome in our guest for the day, Amazing Maria. Welcome to the show.
Hey, guys.
How are you?
I am doing wonderful. How are you guys?
No, we're doing good. We just recapped a live show that we went to last night that featured Tony Atlas, The Patriot, and Tito Santana. So we had a good time, but tell us a little bit about Amazing Maria. I'm interested to know. I met you, on Facebook, and we talked a little, and we wanted to get you on the show so we can learn about you. Let us know, how did Amazing Maria come about? How did she get into wrestling and become who you are now?
Oh gosh, a lot of people think this is really funny, but I accredit my wrestling career to my daughter. I've always been in love with professional wrestling, always been around professional wrestling. But I had children at a young age, both my children. By the time I was 19, 20 years old, so I was, busy being a mom instead of going out and pursuing my dream and doing things. My daughter was about 10 years old. I had the opportunity to start training with the company, and both of my kids are big in sports and this and that. And she was just like, do